Okay, friends. Now, before going to 104 aphorism, I would like to give you this wonderful quote written in the loving memory of Samuel Hahnemann, for which this 104 aphorism is perfectly applicable. People used to say that, Organon is the book for the life. Organon is the book for the nature. Organon was, Organon is, and Organon will always be the true guide for homeopathic practitioners. This 104 aphorism actually justifies the farsightedness of Hahnemann, which is coming true today, even in a more, I would say, bitter way, as far as the practice of allopathic medicine is concerned. Sir John Ware, one of the greatest Scottish physician who has served to the royal family, has used this beautiful quote for Dr. Samuel Hahnemann, is that when the great people die, it is said that they leave their ideas, they leave their thoughts, they leave their desire and even their senses for the future generations to come. It is going to be more than 2.5 centuries years past. 2.5 century years past, Dr. Hahnemann is still alive like a glowing musk in his work, especially with his organon. Dr. Hahnemann has always been not up to date, but before date, and that still obtains. So this is what has been said in the loving memory of Dr. Samuel Hahnemann by Dr. John Ware, Sir John Ware, one of the greatest Scottish physicians. In this 104 aphorism, to get the summary, this 104 aphorism, I would say it's a joint between the case taking and the proving. Like what we say 100, like say for example 82 and 83 are the prerequisites of case taking. People actually considered 83 aphorism a part of case taking, which is actually wrong. If you see 140 aphorism from Samuel Hahnemann, he has given a bracket in which he has specifically mentioned that 84 to 99 aphorism is actually a part of case taking. They are actually a case taking. Where 82 aphorism, that is for individualization, and 83 aphorism is general direction for case taking. And from 84 onwards, the actual case taking starts. So in this 104 aphorism, Hahnemann has given a beautiful overview of summary of homeopathy practice and summary of allopathic practice. That is holism, individualization, that is through PQRS. How to find simillimum, homeopathic way of taking the follow-up, and what to see and how to document. That is from here the proving part starts. So this is all you will be able to find in a very nutshell in this aphorism. And with respect to that, especially in the footnote, greatest criticism what Hahnemann has given to allopathic science, which is actually very true, coming to true today. What is the book which has been written 250 years ago is coming true today, and it will be coming true forever. So the summary of allopathic practice is reductionism. Generalization, that is common symptom. They believe in diagnosis. So it is more or less useful for common symptoms. And allopathic way of taking a follow-up. And I always believe that the concept of proving is actually the concept of case taking. The concept of proving is actually a concept of treating, or the concept of proving is the concept of curing. More or less, the way remedy has been, more or less the medicines have been proved. Similarly, the remedy should be given in order to produce a benefit in the sick people. So with this, I would say in a nutshell that the way 82 and 83 aphorism are the prerequisites of case taking, then 84 to 99 actually are the aphorism for case taking. Then from 100 to 102 are the actual aphorisms for, you can say, epidemic case taking, what we used a lot in this era of COVID-19. And then 104 aphorism is the aphorism which is useful for this many information. This is the summary. And let us go now to 104 aphorism. 104 aphorism is a joint between case taking, or I would say follow up, and proving. So, because the fundamentals of proving is exactly the same as treating. Homeopathy is based on eternal laws of nature. Laws of nature never change. They are very transparent, and at the same time they are very subtle. So, in the same way, proving is equal to treating. And my overall understanding of Organon confirms the same, that the way we treat the patient, similarly, we have to prove the remedies. So it's like proving against treating or proving against curing. Now, in this, we'll go step by step. The first slide indicates proper case taking is half cure. That is what Elizabeth has very rightly said. What Hahnemann tells, when the totality of the symptom that specially mark. See, as we know, what I have come up with this concept of uh, organon in a in a different color, different shades, breaking of the lines, using of the dictionary to understand the medical meaning. This bracket with cut on it is my addition. Is not the addition. Is not from the organon. So what Hahnemann tells here, when totality of the symptom that specially mark. What do we mean specially mark? That is PQRS symptom. Homeopathy is all about PQRS symptom. 153 aphorism. Through PQRS, we go to the homeopathic specific remedy. That is 147 aphorism. So the totality of the symptom that specially marked, that is PQRS. Distinguish the case of the disease. So through PQRS, we distinguish the case of the disease. In other words, when the picture of the disease, whatever be its kind, if it is once accurately sketched, the most difficult part of the task is accomplished. So the main indication in order to treat any patient is proper case taking. And similarly, the main way to take homeopathy to prove any to make any homeopathic remedy or to take any drug into the dynamic form is by proving. So if the proving is very well done, remedy become of exhaustive use like sulfur. Proving, reproving, re-reproving, exhaustive proving, right? So in this way, if you have taken a case well, you get a right remedy. If you have proved a remedy well, medicine well, you get that polycrest. So in a way, the most difficult part is accomplished. Into that, something which is very important, because this aphorism also tells summary of homeopathy practice. And that is also very, very important. So the next, in which what Hahnemann tells something very clearly. People don't know how to take a follow-up. People don't know how to use, what ways to come at a right medicine. The physician has then means THEN. Once the difficult part is accomplished, that is what Hahnemann tells. If you've taken a case well, then you have the clear picture of the disease, especially of a chronic one. Now, chronic disease, Hahnemann has differed beautifully and very clearly in the acute disease management and chronic disease management. Chronic disease, you have classic picture of the disease. Acute, there is never like complete picture of the disease, never like classic picture of an acute remedy, right? So ultimately, what Hahnemann tells, if you study aphorism 90, 90, 92, and 99, these three aphorisms clearly tell that there is nothing like complete acute picture, because in acute we don't have time, we don't have opportunity. We have to be straight and perfect at the first attempt, or preferably second attempt. Otherwise, patient will change the doctor for sure. So what Hahnemann tells here is that then the picture, especially of a chronic one, always before him to guide him in his treatment. Chronic disease, we have enough time. So if you have taken a full case, the most difficult part is accomplished. And at the same time, then we have a lot of information in hand. Then what to do? What Hahnemann tells very clearly, that you have come up to the certain group of remedies. And then what we need to do is the concept of holism. He can investigate in all parts and pick out the characteristic symptoms. That means if lycopodium and sulfur for the GIT problem is coming very, very clear, and we feel both remedies are going perfectly hand to hand or neck to neck for the case. But what is the way to differentiate? Is holism. Lycopodium preferably sleeps on right side. Sulfur preferably sleeps on left side. Like both have desire for sweet, but lycopodium has aggravation from sweet. Sulfur craves a sweet a lot, and they cannot tolerate hunger. In a way, like generals, PQRS. PQRS is something which is very unique. Say, for example, person likes a lot of sweet and also likes salt. Remedy goes straight away argentum nitricum. But patient has aversion to sweet and aversion to salt is graphitis. So PQRS, thermals, hot patient, chilly patient, ailments from love disappointment, we have different set of remedies. Ailments from money loss, we have different set of remedies. Ailments from stress, we have different set of remedies. Sleep position, salivation during sleep, teeth grinding, talking, muttering during sleep, sleeping unrefreshed. So in a way, for whatever chief complaint the patient has come, that is true. But we need to make a holism. And that's what is coming in proving also. We need to, that is aphorism 133. 133. I will tell you when we take it. Hahnemann tells very important, very clearly that you need to find PQRS. And that PQRS can only come into play if you have taken a case well. Because if you have not taken a case well, it will not work. You will not be able to find out. Forget it. Right? So in this way is all about take the case properly, then use the holism to differentiate between the two similar looking remedies. Right? And at the same time, what Hahnemann says, in order to oppose this, what do we mean by oppose? That is patient individual symptom and the symptoms of the remedy. That is what we say in repetition. So in order to oppose this, that is to say, the whole malady itself, totality of symptom is totality of individual symptoms. Remedy symptoms versus individual symptoms. That is what we say repetition. Then we go to the group of the remedies, and through using PQRS, we go to the prescription. So repertory is not an end. The end is mater medica for sure. So in a way, from the whole malady itself, if we oppose the very similar artificial morbific force in the shape of homeopathically chosen medicinal substance, that is what we say remedy or similimum, selected from the list of characteristic is my additions. As we found earlier, the totality of the specially selected symptoms, special symptoms. So selected from the list of characteristic symptoms, all the medicines whose pure effect have been ascertained. That is proving. So if you are able to find good PQRS symptom in proving, you will be able to use those PQRS symptom in terms of treating. If you have proved a case well, if you have proved a remedy well, and if you have taken a case well, there is a great possibility of a wonderful result. Now in this, what Hahnemann tells, you have taken a proper case. See, I'll give you a summary. You have taken a proper case, so majority of the part, the most difficult part is accomplished. That is point number one. Second, then what you have tried to find out is to make holism of all the symptoms, all the characteristic symptoms into one. You have found that. Now you have made an oppose. You have opposed the remedy to the individual symptoms of the patient. You got a list of certain remedies that will, any of that can be what you call similimum. And that you will be able to find out through list of characteristic symptoms. That characteristic symptom, list of symptoms of the medicine is something which is very important because homeopathy is all about PQRS. Now then you are going for a follow-up. Now this entire journey is going to be continued in the proving itself. So now what Hahnemann tells, and when during the treatment, he wishes to ascertain what has been the effect of the medicine. That is follow-up, right? So follow-up is my additions in the bracket with a cut on it. In the follow-up, and what change has taken place in the patient state. So you're given a remedy. Now what you should observe, what you should see during the follow-up, which justifies the effect of the remedy. What you wish to see at this fresh examination, that is follow-up. New consult, every examination is fresh, but first consultation is a new case consultation. Then after, every consultation will be fresh, but the case will be old. So your follow-up should be What specific? See, many times I come to know from students, for follow-up also, they have a very long set of questions. No, no, no. Follow-up should be crisp. In 10 minutes, 15 minutes maximum should be over. And how we should do? What Hahnemann tells, he only tells to strike out. Strike is capital. Strike out only to the list of characteristic symptoms noted down at the first visit. That's all. So if you have made a good totality, you have made a repetition, and you have a set of remedy against to it, that's all. You are not supposed to go to the entire case again and again, going deeper and deeper, repeatedly whenever the patient is coming to you. Otherwise, every consultation will almost become a new case consultation. And that is absolutely not needed also. That's what ultimately Hahnemann tells, is that we only need to strike out the list of characteristic symptoms noted at the first visit. And what you should see is next. What symptoms have been ameliorated? What symptoms are same, that is still remain, and new developed symptoms. Because if you have given a remedy, it can work either similar, similimum, most similar, partial similar, or dissimilar. So we don't know how the remedy has worked, because every vital force is unique in the universe. So you have to see the follow-up in three aspects. Ameliorated, still remain, or maybe same, and new symptoms. How we do in our practice is that there are 5 categories. Whenever I see a follow-up, all the symptoms noted down in the consultation goes in 5 uh, points. Worse, including chief complaint, better, same, cured, and new symptoms. So this is something what I usually do in my practice. Symptoms are worse. Symptoms are same. Symptoms are better. Symptoms are cured, and symptoms are new. New symptoms have come up. Because if you boost the vital force will get immunomodulation. So there will be changes in the symptomatology of the patient, because symptoms are the outward reflection of internal derangement of the vital force. So with these 5 points, I usually strike out to all the symptoms taken during the consultation, which will help me to evaluate the effect of the remedy. So first slide, if you immediately go to this, the first slide is about proper case taking. Second slide is about holism, how to find a similimum, importance of holism and PQRS symptom. Third is erecting totality against the remedy. That is what you call repetition. Patient individual symptom versus remedy. And what you should look is only PQRS. And fourth is about follow-up. The same thing will be done in proving. That is what we see tomorrow. That is what we see from the later in the day if we have time, or we'll see it tomorrow. So this is how the case is being taken. And the follow-up 5 points we usually take: worse, same, better, cured, new. The more we have, new and new symptom come up, remedy will be changing. Worse, same, better, cured, patient himself will tell, or upon investigation, you will come to know exactly. So how to take a follow-up and what do you need to see in the follow-up? That is something which is very important here. Now going to next, something which is very, very important. And this is what Hahnemann tells. 250, Hahnemann has told 250 years ago, coming true even today and will be true forever. Because 104 aphorism, especially the footnote, completely justifies the present situation of the allopathic science, the present situation of the allopathic practice. And that is what Hahnemann tells, that we must not do this. And from here on, the journey of proving comes into play. Because what allopathic science has done, what allopathic practitioners are doing, Hahnemann is saying we must not do this. So allopathically, whatever has been done, criticizing that in a very legitimate, in a very logical, and in a very grounded way, Hahnemann is putting his points from this footnote to proving onwards, which we will take it out later. What Hahnemann tells, the old school physician gave himself very little trouble in this mode of treatment. What is like? The most difficult part is accomplished. 83 to 99 aphorism, 84 to 99 aphorism. 83 is general direction, and 84 to 99 is actual case taking. So 84 to 99 aphorism, what labor Hahnemann tells us to take, what hard work Hahnemann tells us to take in every new case. He tells that the old school physician gave himself very little trouble in this matter, in this mode of treatment. Because ultimately, allopathy is a science of reductionism. I had told earlier, repeating here again, that allopathy has taken a science of reductionism. From the body, they divide it into system, and we see specialists. I'm a gynecologist, I'm a pulmonologist, I'm a nephrologist, I'm a neurologist, I'm a dermatologist, I am ophthalmologist, I'm ENT, I'm orthopedic. So they have gone into speciality. And then from speciality, they have super speciality. From cardiology to interventional cardiology. Then cardiothoracic surgery. Then cardioradiology, right? Then now come another branch of cardiac science is coming up is electrocardiology, where they work with pacemakers and all these things. So they have won a super specialty. Then they have gone to organ, hepatology. Only they are concerned for liver. So in a way, allopathic science has taken a concept of reductionism. Homeopathy has taken a concept of holism. Hahnemann says, as body is made up from one cell, in the embryo, one sperm and ovum gets union, and there is a body. From one cell to two cells, 4, 8, so on, 16, 32, 64, 128, an entire 6 feet body comes on the surface, on the planet in reality. So what Hahnemann tells is that everything is interconnected because life is one, body is one, and in the similar way, all the problems a person has faced, even at the different ages of life, even at the different places of the body, is completely interconnected. Is very much possibly interconnected. Though we get prick on the finger, we get psychologically disturbed. If we are psychologically disturbed, we get effect on the body. So what Hahnemann tells here is that the old school physician gave himself very little trouble in this matter, in this mode of treatment. That is reductionism. They just see local disease as a local disease. That's all. He would not listen to any minute detail of the circumstances of his case by the patient. Bitter truth of today. Nobody wants to listen. If you go to an allopathy consultant, they will never be happy to listen. In my knowledge, I know only one cardiologist practicing in my town who gives 20 minutes to one patient in a cardiology. And he's an allopathic doctor. Other than that, 99 to 99.99% of allopathic doctors never listen the patient to the fullest. He would not listen to any minute detail. Forget about minute detail. Even to major detail also, physicians or doctors do not want to listen. Allopathic doctors I'm talking about. Why? Simply because they want to see so many patients. So they don't want to listen. They don't want to listen the minute details. Absolutely. Then another bitter truth. Indeed, he frequently cut him short in his relation to his suffering. Patient comes and tells, I have stomach pain, I have this, I have that, I have this, I have that, etc., etc. Yes, I have understood. Okay, fine. I am giving you these medicines and you go and take it from the pharmacy, you will be better. They don't want to listen. What Hahnemann tells, with greatest sympathy, come and tell me, I'm here for you. Come and tell me, I'm listening you. Come and tell me, I am going to help you. I want to help you. Mission. We are on a mission to heal the sick. So what Hahnemann eventually tells is that the more you listen, more will be ventilation during the consultation. More patient will be better because a lot of important details have been discharged, a lot of sufferings have been reduced, and at the same time, your presence at the consultation itself work as a remedy. Your actual remedy works afterwards, but person becomes relieved great degree once you listen to them, and that is fact. that happiness increases if you share and sadness reduces if you share. But provided to whom you share is important. We can laugh to everyone, but we cry to only those whom we trust. So during consultation, homeopathy is all about taking more information, giving more time, going more into details. Because homeopathy is not a science of mass, it's a science of class. Take limited number of patients, serve them well. So indeed, he frequently cut him off in relation to his sufferings. That is something where you are not able to get, you are not open to get the history from the patient. Forget it, right? Fourth point, again, super. In order that he might not be delayed in rapid writing of his prescription, might not be delayed. If he listens to more, if he listens more to one patient, he'll be delayed. He'll be delayed. He'll be delayed. He'll be delayed. So eventually his OPD will be over in the evening, which was supposed to finish in the early afternoon. So in a way, rapid writing of his prescription composed of variety of ingredients unknown to him in their pure effects. There is not a single research in allopathy has made up till now, and I'm telling this with a lot of responsibility, where 4 or 5 allopathic drugs have been given together to one object for a very long period. While here what we see, a patient has diabetes, he's taking medicine for lifelong. Thyroid, lifelong. Blood pressure, lifelong. And they are then their blood pressure goes to works, they have coronary artery disease or cardiovascular accident, more drugging, more drugging, more drugging. Now, there is not even a single research has been made, even especially on human beings, where a lot of drugs have been given together to see the effect, but people are taking it. And that too, they are taking it every day because allopathy works maximum for 24 hours. That's why you have to repeat. Where homeopathy works for 24, 40, 60, or up to 100 days with one dose. One dose can work up to 100 days, and that's not me who is telling. Aphorism 246 is telling. 246 is about posology. If you see, one dose works for 100 days maximum. So rapid writing of his prescription composed of variety of ingredients unknown to their true effects, which is a bitter truth of today. That is what is happening. Patient has side effects, then they are getting remedies for medicines for side effects, this and that. What is happening? So the first point tells is that let me try to use this, what you call annote I need to use, I think. See, this is the first point. They give very little trouble as far as the consultation part is concerned. Second, they do not want to listen. That is also true. That they don't want to listen. They just want to write the prescription, let the patient go. They cut the patient during the consultation also. If patient wants to tell more information, or if there is arsenic kind of patient who has brought a lot of documents or a lot of proper information to be presented to the doctor, they don't want to listen. And what they do is rapid writing of the prescription. So what eventually happens is that person goes with a set of medicines with no proper consultation. How much it will help? I'm very, very doubtful, right? So in this way, what Hahnemann tells further on the comparisons of allopathic consultations. Just a second. Annotations, I need to make it on. Let's make it on. That will be more easy for me. Okay. What Hahnemann tells is that comparisons of allopathic and homeopathic consultations follow up in case management. That is bitter truth versus real truth. So no allopathic physician, as has been said, sought to learn all the minute circumstances. It is not been even taught in the colleges also. Colleges also tells. I am in touch with a lot of allopathic doctors who are my very good friend. Nobody wants to listen to those patients to so long. And as a result, learning long or listening long to the patient will put burden on their work. So they listen to very limited number, 1 minute, 2 minute, and that is one of the reason that their referrals or what you say recommendations for investigations have been very, very what you call expanded. Blood report, CT scan, X-ray, MRI, lot of reports have been now being generated where homeopathy tells 98% of the consultations will be productive enough to judge the disease patient has. And I'm telling you with a lot of responsibility because ultimately, if you listen the patient well, 9 out of 10 times you'll be really able to understand what the patient actually has the problem. But the thing is, nobody wants to listen. Still less did he make note in writing. That is again a worst part of it. You know, the prescription, the file, it has just a prescription, no consultation details, or maybe in 2 3 lines, that's all. No consultations details, 2 3 lines maximum there, and then there is a prescription. Even if they have listened to 1 minute, but still there is only one line on the paper. So what has gone, where it has gone, what Hahnemann tells, that everything to go in one ear, in and out from the other ear. So they listen very less, they write even less, and they give a prescription of random chemical substances, kind of an experimentation of the patient. And at the end, when the patient comes in a follow-up, nobody, they don't remember anything, whatever patient has said, because they have seen 100 patients in a day. That exactly what Hahnemann tells we should not do. And the whatever difference is proving chapter has actually is the major difference between homeopathy practice and allopathy practice. That's why I am telling you with full conviction that if you understand proving chapter well, proving aphorisms 105 to 145, probably you will be a fantastic prescriber. Whether you prove the remedy in future or not, whether you are interested in proving or not, that's different thing. But if you read the chapters of proving for the purpose of treating, you will become a better homeopath. And I assure you for that, I will be happy to listen a feedback from you at the end of 9th day, where I will be asking questions to you. Do you think proving is a dry part of organon? People consider entire organon is dry. Well, I believe organon is one of the most interesting subject out of all. I am more connected with organon rather than matramedic and repertory, to be honest with you. People consider proving even more dry. They completely ignore. There is no need to do so. Ultimately, it is one of the most essential part of homeopathy practice, right? So in this, again, one step ahead. What Hahnemann tells, on seeing the patient again several days afterwards. So patient is coming to you after 15 days medication, 1 month medication, or 3 months medication. What has happened to that patient? What has happened? Nobody. What was discussed? Nobody knows. That is the problem. Several days afterwards, nobody knows what was discussed, what were the complaints. They are interested for diagnosis, and that's all. And at the end, he recollected nothing. He recollected nothing concerning the few details he had heard at the first visit. That too few details he has heard. Forget about writing. Forget about writing. Only he has heard. Having in the meantime so many other patients laboring under different affections. So ultimately, a lot of patients have been taken in a month. And at the end, when the patient is coming back to the same doctor doesn't remember anything. And that's what Hahnemann says, that he has allowed everything to go in from one ear and out from the other. And that is one of the real story of allopathic science for today. And it is unfortunate, but it is very, very, very true. Friends, I'll be happy if you can share a feedback. Am I reachable to you? Are you able to get me well? Am I fast? Am I slow? I hope I am not, proving belladonna on you. We'll be very happy to have a feedback so that it will help me to understand better and we can proceed next quickly. Okay. Chalo. Yes, sir, audible. Thank. Okay, thank you, Dr. Anuradha. Very good. I hope you are able to understand the lecture properly, because ultimately this is very deep lecture by itself. And 104 aphorism, if I would say, is the heart of the organon, because it connects the fundamentals to case taking, and from case taking to the consultation part, remedy reactions and everything. Yes, 104 is quite lengthy. That is true, but it's one of the very interesting. So now to the next is about subsequent visit. What Hahnemann has received, you see footnote and head note, the basic fundamental. Now we are about to complete 104 aphorism. What is the difference? What Hahnemann has given in the chapter in the head note, proper most difficult part is accomplished. Then you have to take the holism. Using picture symptom, you come to a prescription, and then you have to you have to make an erection of the totality against the remedy, erecting totality against the remedy to come to a prescription in the form of right remedy using holism. This is about reductionism. What we discussed this is something about consultation part. Now in follow-up, what happens to the follow-up at subsequent visit? He means the allopathic doctor. Annotation on. Okay. Annotations on. Okay. So what happens in the subsequent visits? The allopathy doctor. This he means allopathy doctor, right? Ask few general questions. General questions are not allowed in homeopathy. You have to ask more. You have to search for PQRS question, and you have to ask more PQRS question during practice. General questions. So general questions is something. How are you? How are you doing? Fine. Okay. Then the ceremony of feeling the pulse at the wrist and blood pressure. That's all. Blood pressure is my addition. Pulse and blood pressure. They look at the tongue, or maybe some examinations of the eye or respiration. That's all. At the same moment, without proper attention, at the same moment, he writes another prescription on equally irrational principles, or ordered the first to be continued. So the patient was not being heard properly, patient was not being evaluated properly, patient was not investigated and therefore prescribed properly, and the same patient coming back, same thing continues. So what do you expect? Is a devastation. And that's what actually happens. So with this, what Hahnemann tells, this is my addition. In considerable quantities to be taken several times a day. You see, you have to take allopathic medicine once a day, twice a day, or maybe thrice a day, because they're crude drugs. They work for few hours. If you take more, there is a toxicity, steroid toxicity, lenoxin toxicity. There are so many toxicities, like statins produce gallstones. Any allopathic drug has a side effect. And there, but still, what Hahnemann tells, that every remedy should be taken every day. Every allopathic remedy should be taken every day. And then with this modality, with a graceful bow, he hurried off to the 50th or 60th patient he had to visit. And in a thoughtless way, in the course of in the course of that forenoon, means within 3 to 4 hours. Forenoon means before that is 9 to 12 or 10 to 12 or 11 to 12 is considered forenoon. Then it's afternoon. So in a very thoughtless way, in 2 3 hours, he sees 50 to 60 patients. My God. And he goes to the prescription. He goes to the next, to next, to next, and the same thing is getting repeated. So what happens at the end is a disaster, is an absolute disaster. And that is what is the fact. So ultimately, this what Hahnemann eventually meant is that should not be done. And that what Hahnemann tells actually the same in terms of proving. That will start from 105. The last slide. What Hahnemann tells is very important. The profession annotation. I need to make it on draw. Okay. The profession on which all the other required most reflection, conscientious and careful examination of the each individual patient. That's what homeopathy does. Allopathy never does. each individual patient. And a special treatment founded thereon was conducted in this manner by person who called themselves physician rational practitioners. So remedy should be given on individuality, individual state of the patient. The way no five fingers are alike, similarly, no two diseases can be alike. No two faces can be alike. Even if you know if you write your own name twice, you will be able to see visible difference. So everything is unique in this universe. So if you follow like this, what will be the result? The result, as might naturally expected, was almost invariably bad. And yet patient had to go from there for their advice because there is no other option. Now the alternatives have come up. People have gone to homeopathy, people have gone to Ayurveda, people have gone to chiropractic, people have gone to Unani. They are now open because they have realized that this is not going to work. Partly because there were none better to be had, partly fashion sakes. In Hahnemann time, homeopathy, he was making it popular. He was making it grounded. He was making it founded. Our time, people will come to homeopathy straight away and they will tell, I need medication for my whatever problem. So partly because none better to head, and partly for fashion sake. Still, we are getting people. Lack of awareness for homeopathy, lack of choice, lack of open mindset. Lot of allopathic doctors I am coming to knowledge. I know a lot of allopathic doctors who don't believe in homeopathy. You don't know does not mean does not exist. What falling an apple was to Newton, and he found the third law of gravitation. That is true, that is fact. But before the invention of the gravitational force or the law of gravitation, the apple was falling on the ground only. But nobody has a sense about it. Nobody got a curious about it. It was like automatic. So in a way, homeopathy does not exist is a myth. You don't believe, that's different thing. So with this, the entire 104 aphorism, just a second. Clear, close, okay. 104 aphorism in total is getting over. Can I have your feedback quickly? Are you able to listen me well? Are you able to understand me well? Yes, sir. Yes, Dr. Kavita. Thank you very much. Okay. Any other feedback? Thank you very much. Yes, Dr. Kavita ji. Please advise, should I continue or should we conclude? I think we should conclude. It's 8:15. Yeah.
Thank you, Dr. Kritik. This was quite deep and quite lengthy. Didn't seem, doesn't seem, actually aphorisms ka yahi khubi hai, they're so small, but you give such a deeper meaning to every aphorism. You connect each and everything so well. It makes very easy for us to connect, to understand. And I have observed, though I missed it for 1 year but your teachings have really led us. Like if there is like a maze that we are stuck up, in my experience, it has always helped, your teachings, because Organon is the base, is the foundation of homeopathy, and you make it quite simple for us. So again, a heartfelt thank you, and looking forward for tomorrow's session. Thank you so much, and thank you all the participants. And see you all tomorrow. Have a great evening.
Thank you to you too, Dr. Kavita ji, because without you, this virtual journey would not have started. Starting from the COVID time till today, and I don't know till where it will reach, where and when it will reach. I don't know. So big thank you to you too.
No one can take away the kira of teaching that you have.
Sorry?
So no one can take away the kira that you have of teaching. So it will continue as long as you wish to. We will always be there to learn from you.
Yes, yes. And I don't know this way of writing Organon or the way of making it, multiple colors and all these things. We are getting very good ideas. because and that is what is something which I really enjoy. I'm not fond of Mathematical or repertory. I'm really fond of Organon, and that's what I want to work for throughout my
And
life.
sometimes the script, the colors, the bold, this only helps us to recollect, when we are stuck somewhere. And whatever notes, especially I have made very brief notes. That also helps a lot. So thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Thank you, everyone.